What's goody? It's your host, Jay Rose, as always, and welcome back to the BagTalk Podcast. I ain't made a pod in a minute, and I feel like I gotta drop a pod because I haven't been making individual videos for what's going on, and school been OD, but school's over. So we're gonna start the pod. Some of the stuff in the pod I got videos for playing later. We're gonna get into this podcast. Let's get into it. So we're going to start talking about the second round series and how they're going. Most of them are over or almost over. So we're going to start here with Cavs Pacers. Man, listen. I was right. And listen, I don't take pride in saying that I'm right in this scenario because I was rooting for Cleveland. Like, I never, throughout this entire season, I made a video months ago talking about how I don't really believe that Cleveland can get it done. And they didn't come close. I said conference finals minimum. And even when you get there, I don't think you could be a true contender because I didn't think they could beat the Celtics, and they didn't get past the Pacers. So with that being said, I think at the end of the day, what I said was correct. This team, when it came down to it and they needed more offense, their offense looked redundant. When it came down to it and they needed somebody to be confident with the ball, it was just Donovan Mitchell, and I think that was a big portion of this series. I'm gonna get into that later. Let me talk about the Pacers first before I ramble about the Cavs. But yeah, the Pacers, their pace, their defense, and some Tyrese Halliburton magic absolutely made this series like a completely different series from what I was expecting. I didn't really think the Pacers could come in and just dominate a team that's been so good on the defensive side of the ball and so good on the offensive side of the ball throughout the entire season. But if this playoffs have shown me anything, it's that the regular season does not matter. Doesn't matter. Not this year, at least. Who are the top seeds that are left? Like, the Lakers got eliminated, the Rockets got eliminated, the Thunder are still here, obviously. The Celtics are about to get eliminated. The Cavs are eliminated. All the top seeds are gone. I think the highest seed besides OKC that's left is New York. The highest seed left out of everybody that's still here is New York at the third seed. So the regular season didn't matter, and even that third seeded New York team couldn't beat any teams that were ranked higher than them, and they came into this Celtics series. And let me talk about that later. But with Cleveland, I feel like Halliburton was just on a different level. That game winner he hit super cold. He had a lot of clutch plays, and even when he wasn't scoring, just being able to set up that offense and at least being a decoy on offense definitely helped this team out. Superstar mantra, because listen, he's been to the conference finals twice as the main guy on the team, and he's contributed. I feel like he's still a little bit inconsistent. When he goes off, he goes off. But when he's cold, he's cold. And you've seen that throughout this playoffs. He hasn't had a perfect playoff run. I think the star on the other team outperformed him heavily. Like, Donovan Mitchell outperformed Tyrese, like, completely. And I feel like every aspect besides maybe efficiency, that's how I feel about how this went. Also, Andrew Nembhard, that boy is a playoff riser. That's a real playoff riser right there. Like, Andrew Nembhard, got to be stamped. He one of them role players that got to be stamped because he's done it twice at this point. Going into the playoffs and throughout the regular season, he's just chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's a role player. He's going to get in where he fit in. But in the playoffs, I've never seen, let me not say never seen, because Derek White is quite literally that same archetype. Guys like Aaron Gordon, same archetype. You feel me? But Andrew Nembhard really does not have a huge role in that team. Like, he's not a first, second, third, fourth option. In my opinion, he's just not. You got Reese, you got obviously Pascal, you got Miles Turner, and then maybe Nembhard after that. You feel me? So I just feel like it's kind of crazy how we can go into the playoffs and this guy literally turns into a give me the ball. I can do something with the ball. And I think that's very concerning that a guy like Andrew Nembhard can do that, but Darius Garland can't. Why is Andrew Nembhard coming in and going, I'm going to hit this step back three to ice the game, but when I need Darius Garland to give me a three to bring me within a couple points or to tie or even to just make a play, he's not there. Also, Siakam. I think Siakam is the best scorer on this team, and he continues to come in and be consistent and give you those 20, 23, 24, 25-point performances, and that's what they need from him. They need a consistent scorer, and he's been that for the Pacers. He's honestly been everything that they could have asked for after trading for Siakam. I can't really remember how I felt about that move at the time, but all I know is that trade absolutely worked out for them. Absolutely, because there's been, in these playoff runs, Siakam's been their most consistent scorer, and that's really all you can ask for the guy. As far as the Cavs, like I said, they look scared. Darius Garland couldn't make a play. I understand he was hurt, but so was pretty much everybody else on that Cavs team, including D. Mitch. D. Mitch went down in game 2, game 3, only played 20 minutes, had 12 points, and he came back and he looked awesome. And this is the second year in a row where Darius Garland is not playing well, and the excuse is he's injured. So y'all already know how I feel about that. At what point do we just go he's not going to be healthy? We can't keep running it back and have him keep underperforming, and that's always the excuse. At the end of the day, after you play an 82 game season and go into the playoffs, I'm not expecting anybody to be 100%. Unless you missed out on most of the year, I'm not expecting you to be 100%. Unless you missed out on most of the year, I'm not expecting you to be 100%. So to have DG miss some time, come back, and then not really play that well is disappointing. Same thing for Evan Mobley. He honestly could have put in a lot more pain than he did. I'm not going to blame the loss on him. I don't think he played bad by any means, but I do think for what this team needed, they just needed a guy to step up, and they didn't get that. They didn't get that at all. I feel like to have Donovan Mitchell come into the series, drop 48, drop 43, drop 38, drop 35, and his worst game was a game where he hurt his tailbone and didn't finish, I just feel like that's very disappointing. This is he gave you the blueprint, and I feel like the person getting the most hate from this series is Donovan Mitchell, unfortunately, which I think is completely undeserved. If there's anybody who should not be getting blamed for this loss, it should be Donovan Mitchell. He laid everything out on the floor. He was dirt tired. He was running on fumes by the end of the series, and they're still force feeding him the ball and just going, hey, Donnie, we need a play. Hey, Donnie, we need another bucket. We need something. And to be fair, he could have won them that game. If he makes those free throws and everything else goes the way it goes going forward, the Cavs could have won that game. So I'm not absolving him from any blame, but damn, I understand just being a 6'2", 6'3" guard, having to make every single play over and over and over again, then run back on defense. That's going to get tiring throughout a series, especially when you're putting up those numbers and taking the amount of shots that they're making him take. So I don't think Donnie deserves the blame for this loss. I don't know about DG, man. I don't know what this team even looks like going into the offseason. There's going to be another video on that, but this series was crazy. The Cavs ended up being frauds. Crazy work. The Timberwolves easily beat the Warriors. And I don't really even know how to feel about this series or the T-Wolves run as a whole so far, because I just feel like they haven't had the toughest time. If you look at the names, you'll be like, okay, he beat Luka, he beat Bron. Or not he, but the T-Wolves and Edwards were. They beat Luka, they beat Bron, they beat Reeves, they beat Steph, they beat Jimmy, they beat Draymond. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's like, oh, they've been running through some great teams. And I'm not saying that's not true, but for the first series with the Lakers had a clear big hole. That big man issue with Julius Randle and even Gobert attacking it towards the end of the series, it became much of a bigger issue than I thought it would have been. And that it was a big enough issue to the point where the Lakers really had no answer for that. They had nothing they could really do roster-wise or sub-wise to really help them in that category. All they could do was run a small ball lineup and hope that they could pull it out like that, and that didn't work out. And then we go to the series with the Warriors, and they kind of have the same issue. They don't really have an elite center. They're running Kayvon Looney. Draymond's obviously getting some center minutes. They're not getting great center play, right? So the same issue still stands, and then you add on top the fact that Steph Curry got hurt, and it's damn, I just feel like this run is not super duper impressive. I'm not blaming the T-Wolves by any means. You got to beat who's in front of you, and they beat both of those teams in 5 games. So clap it up for the T-Wolves. Fully healthy, even without some of the holes, they might still win because they've been good. They've been taking care of business. But I'm just not too impressed, and I feel like they still have the potential to lose to a better team. But regardless of that, Ant Edwards and Julius Randle have been putting up numbers, man. And Julius Randle especially kind of changing the mantra around his player archetype. He's playing a lot better team ball. He's playing a lot better in the system. He's actually rising in the playoffs. He's hitting some crazy shots, some daggers, some deep threes. He's been a real motor in this offense, and that's really what they needed him to be if they wanted to even make a run like this. For a team like the T-Wolves, I feel like for this season, this feels like what they're doing right now. I'm not saying that it stops at the conference finals, but the way that they are playing right now, I feel like was a best case scenario for them. We got, and not best case scenario. I feel like Ant could be playing better, but in terms of the other guys, you got Jaden McDaniels giving you stuff every other night. You got Dante DiVincenzo hitting shots. You got Julius Randle coming through and really being that second option you needed him to be. You got Rudy Gobert coming in and giving you a damn near 30-20 game. So I mean, shoot, I feel like they're just getting a lot here from their team. And if I'm the T-Wolves or a T-Wolves fan, I'm super impressed by this run. Just strictly off the way that they're playing, regardless of the competition that they faced. But yeah, I just feel like this team, after watching what they are right now, if they end up winning a championship, that's one thing. I feel like everybody healthy or going up against teams that don't have such glaring holes. Like, I don't know how a series with the Clippers against the T-Wolves goes. I feel like that would be hard for them. But either way, if they don't win a chip this year, I feel like they might be a piece away. If they do win a chip this year, hands up. I got nothing to say. Good run, boys. Good run. If y'all get through either the Nuggets or Thunder and then win whoever comes out of the East, I have no words. Just got to clap it up for that. As far as the Warriors go, obviously Steph injury hurt a lot. I feel like they really didn't have a chance after Steph got hurt. Steph's better than Jimmy Butler. Even I'm gonna get to Jimmy's performance in a second, but regardless of any of that, Steph could barely hold this team afloat by himself. So I wasn't really expecting Jimmy to be able to do that without Steph. The way that this team is built, if either of them aren't playing, they're significantly worse. Like, significantly worse. Obviously, Steph Curry's been playing with this team and in this system for a lot longer. So he kind of knows what it takes to win with some of these rosters, even though it's hard, super hard. This team's not good without them. They're not. I feel like they're running like just a mix and match of players that have skill but kind of don't really fit together on this roster. Like Kuminga, he's just in and out the rotation. He can't really get hot. Podziemski is super streaky guard. Moses Moody, super streaky guard. Buddy Hield is super streaky guard. They don't have consistency in any aspect on that team outside of Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and I'll give that to Draymond as well. All the other guys super inconsistent, and I don't think that's a recipe for success, not having one of your guys there. So that was a big one. But Jimmy didn't even look like a star after Steph went down. Jimmy did a lot of talk about, oh, I'm Steph's Batman, I'm Robin, Buddy Hield could be Alfred. Respectfully, Steph's Batman and the rest of y'all look like civilians or a Gotham City cop at best. None of y'all look like a superhero in this series. None of y'all look like a Batman or a Robin or even an Alfred. I think Alfred would have thrown a little bit more hands than what Jimmy Butler did in this series. I feel like it was really just disappointing to see the lack of takeover. Like, we've seen him in the past. Obviously, he's like, 35, 36 at this point. So I'm not expecting him to be able to hit the gas every night. But in the playoffs, when I know that Jimmy Butler at his best can take a Heat team that doesn't deserve to be in the finals and beat a fully healthy Celtics team and beat a fully healthy Bucks team at some, no, not fully healthy. I don't think, I mean, at points, it was fully healthy Bucks teams. The most recent one, they were not fully healthy, but at points they were fully healthy, and those Heat teams were literally giving them problems, beating them easily. So I just feel like I'm super disappointed in how Jimmy Butler played. When you trade for a star, that's kind of what you're trading for as well. If this guy goes down, we have another guy who could potentially carry this offense, and he simply didn't do that. Very disappointing stuff from Jimmy. On to the next series. The series I'm most excited to speak about. I'm not going to speak about it too much on this pod because that's actually the next video I want to get into. I just have to wait for them to actually win the series before I post it. But the Knicks up against the Celtics. First of all, Jalen Brunson is him. And I knew that already. I knew Jalen Brunson was him when he was a Maverick. But he's him. He's him. Do you hear me? Like, I've never seen somebody. I feel like Jalen Brunson could have 12 points and get 30 every game. I mean, that didn't make sense. Hold on, wait. I feel like Jalen Brunson can have 12 points from the first to third quarter and still end up with 30 plus every game. Because the way he walks into the fourth quarter, and no matter what happened throughout the game, they could be down 20, they could be down 15, he gonna turn that swag on. and he's just gonna start getting buckets. And it's crazy because I feel like the Celtics, when you have these 15, 20, 25 point leads, you can't be blowing that. You can't. Like, I don't understand how 3 times in this series, all of the games that the Knicks won, it's not like they were dominating and it looked like they were the better team throughout. I feel like they've looked like the better team for very important stretches of games. But throughout these games, they have not overall. Like, I think the Celtics are beating themselves to a certain extent. I'm not going to be like, oh, the Knicks just aren't doing anything. Obviously, Mikal Bridges turning into Kobe Bryant, like, what, mid-game 4? That's huge. Bro came out and started hitting every mid-range he put up. Jalen Brunson, every game, has been putting up bombs. Like, step-back contested cash. I'm in the corner. I got a 6'8", 6'9" guy closing out super fast. I'm going to get this shot up cash. I'm going to drive inside, Euro step. I'm getting grabbed, lay me and one. Like, he's making everything in the fourth quarter. And that's a recipe for success for this team. I guess. Like, I can't say too much because last year when the Mavericks were on a run, this was the kind of basketball we were playing. Like, in the third quarter, you could go on a huge run on us, but if you're not up at least 15-20 in the fourth, we're probably going to win. Like, I'm confident we can win that. And even if you are, we can still come back. That's how the Knicks are playing right now. I think it's a little extreme how they are actually not leading for most of these games. Like, they're trailing up until like the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and then they come back and now they're battling back and forth, and now it's a game. And once they get to that point in the fourth quarter, the confidence is built up. I feel like the confidence just throughout the series has been built up for all the players. Cat realizing I'm the best big on the floor right now. Like, KP can't stay on the floor for more than 5 minutes. He's sick or whatever. Al Horford's 41 years old. So I'm attacking. Let me attack. OG is like, hey, like, if I play up to my potential and I can hit shots here or there, I can make a big impact. Mikal's just like, hey, JB's on the floor. Somebody got to do something. So I'm going to do something. And everybody's just gaining confidence. I feel like this is a best case scenario for the Knicks. When you have a team that's built off your starting 5, you're going to need your starting 5 to do, each of them to do a very good job. If that's how we running things. When the only players you got off the bench are Cam Payne, Deuce McBride, Mitch Robinson, and that's the end of your bench rotation, your starting 5 is going to have to put in Payne. And that's what they've been doing. So shout out to Knicks, man. Shout out to Knicks. This is not a series that I thought that was going to go like this. I thought if they were going to get some wins, it was going to be some gritty wins, and that's what they've been getting. I didn't expect them to keep on getting gritty wins, like over and over and over again in the same fashion. Like, there's a lot of parallels between these games. Like, besides just the Celtics missing shots, they're kind of running on autopilot. Like, I don't understand how you go up 20 and we're still playing math ball and you want to keep shooting these threes and we're just going to outshoot this team. You're up 20 at this point. Like, drive into the lane. You got some of the best drivers in the league. You got JT, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Derek White, who's not too shabby. KP is sick or whatever, so I guess I'll leave him off this. But yeah, if you up, I don't understand why Jason Tatum's taking pull-up half-court shots and heat checks when he could just drive to the rim. I don't know why Jalen Brunson is taking contested pull-up mid-range jump shots when he should just be barreling to the rim. And I feel like worst-case scenario, you're going to make at least one out of the 2 that you put up if you take in good shots, right? Every 1 out of 2 lays, I feel like those 2 guys, three if you include Derek White, they're going to make those instead of pulling up these bomb threes when you're already up. Like, we're blowing leads because we're just running on autopilot. Like, we're just shoot. For what? For what? Against a team that you already have on the ropes down 20, just hold your lead. Why are we trying to hit these bomb threes? It doesn't make any sense. Like, their offense, I've seen their offense run like a well-oiled machine, and then I've seen their offense in this series where they just look like they're playing like the 2018 Rockets. Like, why are we chucking straight threes? Like, I understand y'all play a 5-wide offense and the goal is to get open 3-point shots, but the way that you do that is driving in, cutting, using KP in the mid-range, using JT in the mid-range, using JB in the mid-range on just some pop out. We gonna screen a roll. He's gonna pop flash to the top of the key. 1 dribble pull up. Some calm like that. 1 dribble floater. Something calm, just to open up the floor instead of telling the Knicks, hey, regardless of how this possession goes, I'm shooting a 3 here. That's how it felt for a lot of this series. And prayers up to JT also, by the way. An Achilles injury goes crazy, man. And I feel like this season has just been home to too many injuries. Kyrie gonna be out most of next season. Damian Lillard gonna be out most of next season. Jason Tatum gonna be out most of next season. In terms of this season, we lost out on Wemby. We lost out on Ja. Luka was out for a lot of the season. Even in the playoffs, we got guys with little nagging injuries here or there. The Cavs didn't have like damn near their whole roster in game 1 of this series. D. Mitch goes out, so it's just been a lot of injuries, man. A lot of injuries. Prayers up to JT. Prayers up to everybody that got hurt. But without JT, the Celtics can still win. Will they do it? Is an interesting question. Jaylen Brown balled out last game and did exactly what he needed to do. That's probably the best playmaking I've ever seen from Jaylen Brown. He also got his scoring up too. If he can consistently play like a number 1 option and actually play make, shot create in the whole 9 and not dribble off of his foot when he's dribbling to his offhand and get locked up by the Knicks, which has been happening throughout this series. He's been throwing a lot of turnovers. If he can keep it up, they can win. I don't really see them coming back from down 3-1. I feel like that's a tall task. That's a big ask. But yeah, either way, I feel like this next game at MSG is going to be crucial for the Knicks. I think they should win there. If they don't, they go into game 7, and that's where things get real interesting, right? This would be crazy if the Knicks did not close this out. I think Knicks fans everywhere would be devastated. It would be such a Knicks thing to do, but this just feels different. This era of Knicks basketball, it just feels different. So I'm putting my faith in the Knicks still. But this last series is the Thunder going up against Denver, and I'm not gonna lie, this has been the series that I've paid probably the least attention to, and I regret it because every single time I click off a game or I'm like, all right, they're getting blown out, game's over, here they come. And I'm learning that no lead is safe in this play. No lead is safe. If you're the Celtics and you got the Knicks down 20, it's not safe. If you're the Cavs, you got the Pacers down 20, it's not safe. If you're the Nuggets, you got the Thunder down 20, it's not safe. It's not safe. I've seen so many blown leads. Like, the Nuggets cannot hold a lead to save their life. Now they down 3-2. And honestly, the Thunder are playing great defense on Jokic. Like, Jokic dropped 44 and 15 or whatever the case may be the other night. But overall during the series, turnover machine, and that's not very common for Jokic. I've never seen Jokic miss a lot of these shots, like in down low in the post. They're putting great pressure on him. They're making sure when he posts up, they're getting 2 bodies there. They're turning him over. They're playing him perfectly. Like, I've never seen Jokic get played this perfectly outside of last game where he was like, we need to win this, and they still didn't win. He's been getting played perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Like, shout out to OKC. Props to OKC for that, because I don't even know how you can play Jokic any better. OKC has been super clutch. Like I said, very similar to the Knicks. A lot of comeback wins. They're playing a lot of team ball. I don't think Shea's had his best series either in this series. I don't think Shea's had the best postseason this year. But either way, they're racking up W's. Very unlikely W's sometimes. And I'm not going to even sit here and pretend like that's all OKC playing this amazing basketball, because it's not. MPJ and Jamal Murray for the second playoffs in a row are underperforming. And that's not fun for Jokic, because when you're a guy who knows I can put up 44 and 15, you'd like for your 3-point shooting specialist, your offensive specialist, Michael Porter Jr., to hit a shot. And respectfully, when Michael Porter Jr. is not hitting shots, what else is he providing? Nothing. He's not a playmaker. He's a shot creator for himself, but if he's not hitting shots, he's not shot creating. And he's not really rebounding much either. I feel like Jokic and AG kind of vacuum up the boards on that team. He doesn't give you much. So now that he's not scoring, it's kind of like, well, what do we do here? I feel like I said this years ago. MPJ or, now I feel like both. MPJ or Murray should have been off of this team for a better player. As much as I like the dynamic that they have going on here, I feel like it's very apparent that Jamal Murray is not a top tier point guard. And Michael Porter Jr. certainly isn't a top tier small forward. At points in their career, especially after they won a championship, their stock was at an all-time high. All-time high. These are all pieces to a championship roster they just won, and I know it's a little like jarring to take your championship core and just break them up, but I feel like in that scenario, man, like that's truly what would have been best for the Nuggets. And now we're seeing that the lack of moves and the lack of adjusting and the fact that they have no bench, they have Westbrook and Strother and Peyton Watson, they don't got nobody on the bench. So it's all coming back to bite them, bro. All the missed pieces that they had, it's all coming back to bite them. It's just not a good look for the Nuggets right now. It's not. The last thing that I wanted to get into and had to get into, honestly, is the NBA draft order for this upcoming draft. I was going to be kind of tricky with it. Let's just start with the elephant in the room. The Dallas Mavericks. After this whole season that we had, trading away Luka and Kyrie going down, everybody going down. Missed the playoffs, missed the play-in. No, we didn't miss the play-in. We just lost in the play-in. But all that happens, and now we end up with the first pick. And I feel like this is a double-sided kind of situation. The organization, as in the front office, does not deserve this. In any way, shape, or form do they deserve this. I hate that Nico Harrison gets to feel somewhat vindicated in the fact that he got this pick when he did nothing to earn it. Not only did we get the craziest jump in NBA history, we jumped up 10 spots. You jumped up 10 spots. You had a 1.8 chance. Also, Kyrie doesn't go down, this doesn't happen. AD doesn't go down, this doesn't happen. Luka doesn't get traded, this doesn't happen. Like, there's so much that happened last year that just one thing going differently changes this order. Like, and even up to us flipping a coin between us and the Chicago Bulls, because I think we won the season series or something like that. We flip a coin, it lands on us. There's so much luck involved in this. I just don't want the front office to feel any kind of satisfaction at the fact that they got this, but I know they do. And now Nico Harrison actually has the opportunity to build the exact team that he's envisioning, and I like that and I hate that at the same time. I like it as a fan because I need something to root for. I'm not gonna lie, I've been so checked out from Maverick basketball ever since Luka got traded. Like, I just felt like I got checked out when he got traded. I'm working my way back into it. I'm seeing how well Kyrie's playing. AD get hurt his first game playing. Then Kyrie gonna be out for the entire next year. Like, it just went down. And I needed something to root for. So Cooper Flag is the best consolation prize any Mavs fan could have possibly asked for. But at the same time, if I could take it all back, I would take it all back. Go to the beginning of the season. We just got Clay and Najee. We feeling nice. We feeling like we about to go on a run. Our superstar's hurt, but we holding it down. We just gonna wait for him to get back. We should have waited for him to get back. Watching how the West is going right now, I don't know if this is cocky Mavs fan, but especially not if the Celtics are not even in contention right now. We were going to win a ring. And I find it so stupid that he broke up a championship level roster to try and remake a championship level roster after even not letting them run it back for one. He didn't give them one chance. I'm not even about to get worked up over it. San Antonio got the second pick. We're gonna hide Dallas. I can't even do it. San Antonio got the second pick, right? And what I think is interesting is that they have a lot of options. I feel like this is a guard heavy team, and picking Dylan Harper doesn't make sense unless you make some moves. But at the same token, Dylan Harper is by far the second best player in this draft. I think Ace Bailey is also good, but he's a little bit more of a raw talent. He's going to have to grow into himself, which I think is fine. I also think the fit of Ace Bailey and Victor Wembanyama, when they both start stocking up and getting big, is going to be crazy. I think I might be a little higher on Ace Bailey than the average fan, but guess what? Both of them went to my school. I'm fans of both of those guys, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, right? So I think those are the 2 and 3 picks easily. I just don't know how this works out for the Spurs. I think there's a lot that they could potentially do. They also have this pick, the 14th pick. The most ideal scenario in my head for San Antonio, if I was a Spurs fan or the Spurs GM, Stephon Castle is gone. Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell, like 2 of those 3 guys are gone. We're getting rid of this pick, and we're getting rid of a lot of the other picks we got via trade, and we're gonna go get Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's obviously in a perfect world. You'd love to keep this pick, and at that point, your lineup would be like De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper at the 2. You probably have to go round out at 3, and then you got Giannis, and you got Victor Wembanyama. That's a championship. That's just how I feel, and that's how I feel like I would do it if I was in a scenario. If not, low key, I'd be more interested in picking Ace Bailey, because this team is small. Like, y'all be having Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson. These guys are like 6'7", 6'8", running power forward, and they're kind of a little too slow to play small forward. I would love an Ace Bailey here. I think he's an elite finisher. He needs to get better at blowing by people at the NBA level. I think that comes with strength, and he's not a bad player, man. He's not a bad player. I think I would genuinely do that if I were San Antonio. If not, Philly, who does not deserve the 3rd pick but was horrible this year. Philly, if that doesn't happen, Ace Bailey would be perfect for y'all. And honestly, with receiving this 3rd pick, I'm blowing it up right now. I think we got the basis to make a good team. I'm getting rid of Joel Embiid, and I could understand if you're like, I paid Paul George all this money, I paid Embiid all this money, and I want to see them do something. But my thought process is, you have Tyrese Maxey, who's still in that young range, right? I believe Tyrese Maxey is like, 24? He might be a little younger. Tyrese Maxey. Okay, age. Yeah, I got it on a dot. Tyrese Maxey's 24. So you got Tyrese Maxey, you got Jared McCain, you pick up Ace Bailey. You now have your backcourt for the future. You got your 3, and you have a lot of assets. I think Joel Embiid and Paul George. Paul George might not be an asset anymore. I don't think nobody want that contract, but Joel Embiid could still be an asset, and they have a couple other role players. I feel like that's just the route I would go. Try to get rid of him. Give me a young talent back, or give me some picks back, something. Because obviously an injured Joel Embiid is still a great player, but we know what he comes with. I'm not sure how much you get for that at this point in his career. I'm not convinced that he's going to go into his 30s fruitfully, or continue to be in his 30s fruitfully. But yeah, if I'm the Sixers, I'm going with a young core. Like, the process is over. That whole process, the 2010s and what y'all did there, you failed. Unequivocally failed. I can't even understand how Tyrese Halliburton has 2 conference finals under his belt, and Anthony Edwards has 2 conference finals under his belt. Luka Doncic has 2 conference finals and the NBA finals under his belt. Trae Young has a conference finals under his belt, and the 76ers do not have a conference finals under their belt since they started this whole process, and even obviously dating before that, because they sucked, right? And I just think that it's crazy. Like, really, the last time the Sixers were super successful was with AI, right? The last time the 76ers were really, really successful was when AI took them to the finals. And since then, you've had teams with a prime Ben Simmons, prime Jimmy Butler, prime Joel Embiid, and a Tobias Harris, and y'all still couldn't get it done. You want to change it up, go get James Harden, you still couldn't get it done. Change it up again, go get Paul George, you still couldn't get it done. So at this point, in the fact that Tyrese Maxey is emerging, you saw what the flashes of what Jared McCain could be. You got a top 3 pick. I don't know why not just blow it up at this point. I feel like we're beating a dead horse. I'm not looking forward to going into the next season and watching that again. I feel like just change it up. Just change it up. Charlotte, I love that they got the 4th pick. I don't know who they take with this 4th pick. Maybe they get VJ Edgecombe. Maybe they get maybe Ace Falls or some crazy. Maybe I can't see them getting a guard. Maybe they get Derek Queen. But I do like that the Hornets got another top pick, and hopefully they can build on that and not suck next season, because they've been so bad for so long. I remember when that was the next team people thought were gonna take a jump, and here we are. They still suck. Shout out all the Utah Jazz fans, all the Washington Wizards fans, all the Pelican fans, and all the Nets fans. Your teams either tanked or were hot garbage, and y'all did not get a top 3 pick. Yo, I don't understand how this happens. These 3 teams on paper are not bad. 2 of these teams, no. All 3 of these teams have a superstar. Point blank period. All 3 of these teams have a superstar. This roster is great, to be frank. This is a playoff roster. This is a conference finals roster at the very least, in my opinion. I feel like the Mavs roster, as mad as I am about how this season went, regardless of if they got this first pick or not, when healthy, this is a great team, in my opinion. This team's not that great, but they have Wemby. So getting the second pick goes crazy. This team's also not that great. They didn't get a chance to play. They got Maxey, they got McCain, they got Embiid, and I'm scared to say Paul George now because that was a crazy season he had, but we're not going to just completely discredit him yet. They still got Paul George, right? Hornets, Jazz, Wizards, the Pelicans got Zion, and the Nets, y'all have nothing. Y'all have nothing. And y'all did not get one of those top 3 picks. Tanking is dead. If you're an NBA team, stop tanking. That does not work. You're not getting the first pick. And yeah, that's all I really got. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the pod. I feel like we went through pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this episode. I got more videos coming for show. School year is over. I gotta lock in, get more content pumping out. We're going all the way into the off season up until next season. Y'all already know how we do. If you like this video, like this video. If you didn't, make sure you subscribe because I know you're gonna like the next one. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.